Okay, let's assume we have some code here. We have a person object, and this side, this person object has a user with the name Donnie and age of 13, and a method called checkAge. And if the age is less than 18, then it throws an exception. And maybe this, let's assume that this is in a different library somewhere, so we can't even control it. So this is beyond the scope of our things. We have to call into this library to do something, and for whatever reason, this library throws an exception. Even though we may or may not agree with that on the way that the code is working level, sometimes that's just the reality of the situation. I've worked with many libraries in which I can't control or don't agree with how they handle something, and they throw an exception. So I don't want the application to blow up. So what I can do is I can wrap this in what's known as a try-catch. And a try-catch is going to give us a ability to catch the exception. So basically what's going to happen, and I want to show you something. What's going to happen is checkAge is going to happen, and then that's going to throw an exception, so we can see the exception again. It's going to throw this exception, and what's going to happen is basically going to short circuit right here. I could have a whole bunch of code, most likely I probably will have a whole bunch of code down here, and none of this code is going to execute. Because why? Because this thing right here threw an exception, and I need to do something with that exception. And so here I can actually catch that exception. I can actually get rid of that if I want to. Catch the exception, and then I can do something with it. Now I can decide to do println, caught the exception, etc. Now when I run this, now the application is not going to crash, and we got a typo there. And what we see is caught the exception. Again, we'll fix the typo, run it again. We see caught the exception, but we still didn't get all these values run. Now this is beneficial because if we don't have this, let's go ahead and comment this out. What could end up happening is our application could run, and then for whatever reason it just blows up. And maybe we don't want it to blow up. Maybe we again, it's a library or something. We get an exception and we want to do something different. So we're like, oh wow, okay, this person's age is not 13. Okay, maybe then we kind of do some other type of code handling, set some variables, and do anything like that. So that's how we can catch an exception inside of Kotlin. Now, inside of here, if this were, if we're going to do println exception was caught, we'll say caught for now. If for some reason this person was 23, what we're going to see now is the code is going to run, and checkAge is going to run. That's fine. And then all these statements are going to run, and this block of code right here is going to be skipped. It's completely skipped. So what ends up happening is Kotlin says, all right, I'm going to try to do all the stuff in here. And then if anything bad happens, I'm going to go ahead and basically short circuit down into this little branch down here. Now, that's great. If no errors happen, then all the code in here will successfully execute, and then it'll continue down here. So we'll say println after try catch. And this is known as a try catch block. Up here, so we have a try catch. And so we'll see done, 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 after try catch. And so that's how you can work and catch exceptions.